Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do the mid-year book freakout tag. I think that's what it's called. I know I just did a tag video for my last video, but a lot of you guys that were commenting down below just wanted to keep seeing more tags. You said that you really like tags, and I was like, are you sure that you want to see like multiple tags? And they're like, yeah, we don't care. So here I am doing another tag video because I've been seeing this one go around and I've wanted to do it for forever. If you guys didn't know, I used to upload videos a long time ago, and I always wanted to post this particular video and I just never made it to it because I suck. So I'm really actually hyped to do this tag. I will link the original video down below as well as the questions, just in case any of you guys want to do it or anything like that. I was not tagged, but when have I ever been tagged? Never. Oh, my cat's making a very sad noise. I don't know why. So yeah, let's get into it. 15 questions, don't want to take forever. The first question is the best book you've read so far, and for that one I'm definitely gonna have to go with the first book that I read this year, and that was Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I was blown away by the world building, by how just detailed and realistic this world was. I loved the magic system, I loved the world, I loved learning about Kvolth, and it was just fantastic. I loved everything about it. It's actually what made me interested in continuing on reading adult fantasy. I think that it just really opened my mind to like adult fantasy, so I appreciate it for that. The second question is the best sequel you've read so far, and I haven't read a lot of sequels this year. I've read a lot of beginning books in a series or standalones or ones that just haven't gotten their second book yet. So I've only read 2 sequels, and I didn't really love either of them because I think it was really good, but it didn't like have a special place in my heart or anything. So by default, I guess A Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir wins. I didn't love this book. If you guys have been following around on my reading vlogs, then you know, like, I was not like disappointed exactly, but for some reason this went really slow for me and I couldn't get into the writing style easily. I feel kind of bad making this my favorite sequel because I don't have a ton of great things to say about this. I think that, again, I felt like this was just a ton of setup for the next book, which that's how I felt about the first book. And I thought that this one would be jam-packed with like action and stuff because of all the setup in the last one, and then it just kind of wasn't. So I'm kind of curious if maybe that's just the writing style that I'm just not catching on to. Number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to, and this one I have a really good question, or I have a really good answer, and that's Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I want to read this so badly. I did read the first chapter of this trying to see if I wanted to pick this up next, and I was already very intrigued, so I think this is definitely going to be one of the next books that I read this year, and tons of people loved it and have nothing but good things to say about this. And obviously I love fantasy, and like the diversity in this is out of this world, so I'm just gonna have to pick it up real soon. Number 4 is the most anticipated release for the rest of the year, or the second half of the year, and I think that one's pretty obvious if you've been following me for any amount of time. As you know, I'm hosting a read-along for Throne of Glass, and that is all in anticipation for the book that I am most excited for this year, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. It is the finale of the Throne of Glass series. I've been waiting for this for 2 years now because, you know, it was supposed to come out last year, and then Tower of Dawn came out instead. So, but I'm so excited. It's gonna be fantastic. I can feel it in my heart. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year so far, and for that one I'm definitely gonna have to go with Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I went into this thinking I was going to love it, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the themes, I couldn't believe the characters, I didn't like anything about it, which was so surprising because I just had finished Fangirl and loved it, and I was ready for that kind of love again, and I just didn't get it. So yeah, that was kind of upsetting. Definitely disappointing. Number 6 is biggest surprise of the year, and for that one I actually have 2 books. The first one being Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. As you guys know, if you're watching that reading vlog, I went into this with kind of low expectations because I tried to read this 3 years prior and just didn't enjoy it at all. And I was I was in love with the characters by the end of this. Loved them. I loved everything about this book. I have to read Carry On now because I still need more of this world, and I'm just... I mean, I know it's not really that world, but still. It's a piece of it. And then the other book that was a really big surprise for me was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I honestly have been putting this book off for years as well, and I just didn't expect to like it much at all when I started reading, or I listened to this actually on audiobook. Same with the rest of Fangirl actually. And I loved it. It was so cool. I loved the pop culture references. I loved the turns it took. It was just out of this world. Yes. Number 7 is your favorite new author, new to you or debut. And for that I have decided on Pierce Brown. I hadn't picked up the Red Rising series until this year, and I actually loved it. I think it was just fantastic. And there were definitely other, I don't know, I think this is one of the only authors that are new to me this year. I mean, besides like Patrick Rothfuss and who else is new to me? Like Sabaa Tahir. There's a few that are new to me, but this is one of the only books that like I was thrown back by. Like obviously also Name of the Wind, but I already talked about that, so let's give another book a shot. And I loved it. Like I can't wait to get to the rest of this series. I thought the world was so in-depth, and I thought like it was just a really good book for a fan, or for a sci-fi, because I normally don't read sci-fi, but this one, it was just yes. Number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I also have 2 for this one. I had to talk about this baby because I fell in love with this book. So definitely Prince Cardon, which is kind of weird because I kind of hated him in the beginning, but like towards the end and then I don't know, I just grew a lot of soft spots, and I love fairies, as you guys know, and the cheekbones, I can imagine them, and I'm here for it. He has a tail. So stinking cute because, you know, dogs and cats have tails and they're adorable, so. And the other one that I'm going to talk about has a hole in my heart at this exact moment. Still very fresh. And that is Trick from Nevernight. I didn't think I was gonna fall in love with him because he's kind of like a skinny, just like meh in the beginning, but like he just really grows into himself over this book, and I'm just imagining this very tall and muscular and just ethnic and gorgeous man, you know, by the end. That's exactly what I was thinking about, and yeah, he just did some things that I was like, yes. So, yeah. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I honestly cannot think of any books that I cried over. Like, maybe I teared up in Fangirl, but I don't think so. I don't cry very easily with books, but there is one reread that set the tears. They were just flying. And where did I put it? Obviously that is Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. This is the prequel to the Throne of Glass series. It was the first book that I read for my reread, and there's just if you haven't read this, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a scene in here that just, you know, takes your heart in its hands and just like squishes it and then rips it apart because it hates you. And yeah, I definitely cried because my heart was torn apart, so. Number 11 is a book that made you happy, and this book isn't necessarily a happy one, but for some reason it just made my like heart fly. Like I just felt so, that book is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I loved her writing in this. It was just beautiful. I felt it. I mean, I listened to this on audiobook, but it was fantastic. The narrator, great voice. Wow. I was so happy. And then, you know, the end also rips apart your heart, so it's a theme. Number 12 is favorite book to film adaptation that you've seen this year. I don't think I actually have seen any. I keep looking over there, I'm sorry. I don't think I have seen any book to movie adaptations this year at all. I know that there's a few that came out, I just haven't seen them for whatever reason. So I'm gonna kind of cheat for this one and just say any Marvel movie. Those are comic books that were turned into movies. So probably either Black Panther Thor Ragnarok or Avengers Infinity War, which I think are the only Marvel movies that have come out this year, but I've loved them all, so they're all my favorites. I don't know, they're all really at the top because out of all the Marvel movies, all of them, the ones that they've come out this year I think have been some of the best. Especially Thor Ragnarok. Actually, that one holds like a very special place in my heart. It's just especially funny and I love like learning about Norse mythology, so it was just, I don't know, I loved it. Number 14 is most favorite book you've bought this, or what? Number 14 is most beautiful book you've bought this year. I have a few answers for this. So, my first answers are these babies. They are so gorgeous. Oh my god. I just realized these are the suns. Because there's a red sun and a blue sun, and the next one's gonna be the other sun. Just rip my heart apart, why don't you? I love these covers. They are just so cool. When you look at them, there's just like different designs in them and they're just beautiful, and I think they really tell the story, which is cool because, I don't know, I just like these so much better than the US editions. And they're gorgeous. They're so gorgeous. And without the covers, they're still gorgeous, so there's that. And I also really love, though, all of them, but specifically this one. I bought the illustrated versions of Harry Potter this year, and I think they're just... This is my favorite of the covers, just because I really like the dark purple, and I don't know, it's just like my favorite cover for some reason. I think it goes really well all together. The other ones are really like light and airy, and for some reason I always like darker covers, so. Alright, and then number 15 is what books do you need to read by the end of this year? And there's a lot of those. I mean, I obviously wish that I could read all the books that are on my TBR, ideally, but that's probably not gonna happen. So we're just gonna go with like the books that if I don't finish them this year, I will feel incomplete. First we'll start with the one that I haven't really talked about yet. So that's gonna be A Darker Shade of Magic by B. Schwab. I have not read any of these books in this series, and I really, really want to get to them. So if I don't finish this series by the end of the year, I'm just gonna, I don't know, cancel the end of the year because I need to finish them before the end of the year. I also really want to finish the Red Rising series as much as I can because obviously the last book hasn't come out, so want to finish that. And then I also really, really, really want to finish the Illuminae trilogy. I only ever read the first book, and I own Gemina, and I want to get Obsidio. I think that's what it's called. And I just really liked it, and I just feel really weird having it incomplete on my shelf because I did like it so much. So have to read it. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. My next one, I swear, will not be a tag. I just needed like a moment to collect myself and really put into thought all the other video ideas that you guys have given me, which, by the way, thank you so much. You've been doing really good at that. I am so just overwhelmed by how great of a response I've gotten for asking for video ideas, so thank you guys. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!